With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 350 plus undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Hey, it's Jazz. And sure, just kidding. This is Giving Up the Ghost podcast. Thank you so much for coming back. So much exciting stuff has been going on with the podcast and with our Spirits with Spirits. I don't want to take too long on this intro because today's episode is actually pretty long, and I apologize. I try to keep it between 20 and 30 minutes, but I didn't have the heart to splice it up. Tonight's episode is Spirits with Spirits, the Dalnavert episode / open mic. So this is the open mic portion, and we had so many people come out. It was amazing. We had 77 beautiful, creepy, cool people come share ghost stories with us. Well, not all 77, of course, but I think there was about 8 people, and then we ran out of time. So typically it's 7 to 9, and I think next time there'll be a caveat to that. You know what? I'm sure it's okay with the King's Head pub that if we run over 9 o'clock, who gives a shit, right? So, I mean, it's all about you guys. It's all about telling your stories, speaking your truth, getting it off your chest. It's very cathartic when you share stories that nobody else either believes or understands. We get it. We totally get it. So we're going to extend that a little bit if we can, give or take. You know, hopefully we get the same amount of flow of people out. We wing this every Wednesday at the end of the month. Like, we're just trying our best. We're not professionals. We do not get paid for this. It's a glorified hobby. You know, if it wasn't for Ash and Kelly with the Winnipeg Paranormal Group, like, it just, it's a good fit. Love those girls. And, we try our best because we're just so enthusiastic about ghosts and spirits and the paranormal that we want to be with like-minded people. And that's who we hope to get out to these events. So in saying that, this week, July 30th, Wednesday, the King's Head Pub, please come out. We have a sponsor that has provided us with some swag, along with the giveaway. I usually give away t-shirts and a little prize pack. Thank you so much to Dead Horse Cider, our sponsor for Wednesday night, with respects to giving us these beautiful glasses. And they said they normally don't give stuff away, like swag and merch and stuff. But because Giving Up the Ghost is so special, we've been supporting them from the get-go. Since we started the podcast that first year, for sure, we were drinking it almost every time we recorded. Love their cider. It is delicious. And kudos. Thank you so much to Marcus and the crew at the Dead Horse Cider Group out in southern Manitoba. Position, I guess, like around Morden, Winkler area. Delicious stuff. So they are our proud sponsor. Thank you. The King's Head Pub does sell some of their fine beverages, so definitely check that out when you're there on Wednesday night. As well, another announcement to make. We have a special guest that's coming out Wednesday night. That would be Matthew Comis. Not sure how to pronounce the name. I'll verify that on Wednesday. But he is actually the author of Haunted Winnipeg and Haunted Manitoba. And he will be coming out to share some of his stories from his books as well. I think McNally Robertson is one of the places that you can purchase the book. And he will be coming out Wednesday night. He is our special guest for the first hour. He also does the haunted walking tours in the Exchange District. Very cool. So this dude has like knowledge beyond knowledge. So he's going to give us all the cool, creepy stuff of the Exchange District, because that's where the King's Head is actually positioned. So that'll be exciting. So come down, and that'll be July 30th from 7 to 9 p.m. We were officially awarded by feedspot.com. We have a badge that we put up on I got to put on the website yet, but on our Facebook, that we have a badge that we are the top Canadian paranormal podcast. So thank you so much for that honor. Like that's crazy cool. Now, if the money would just be rolling in, that'd be even more awesome. On a personal note, I spent yesterday, Saturday, out in Woodridge, Manitoba. Congratulations to Woodridge on the 125th anniversary. And I went with some relatives. Not too many relatives live out there anymore. That place is so haunted. And that's probably the reason why I've always been so interested in the paranormal and the ghost stories from out that way. I'm hoping to get the crew from the Winnipeg Paranormal Group. Maybe we can spend the night there and see if we can find the ominous and infamous ghost lights of Woodridge. But we went out there. It was the 125th anniversary. Crazy to think that my grandfather, who's now long passed, but he was born in 1904. So, I mean, there's a lot of history steeped in that town. And ghost stories. He would tell me ghost stories. And like when I was like 9 and 10, and I would eagerly suck up all those stories, and my imagination would run wild. And here we are today, giving up the Ghost Podcast. So in saying that, lots more exciting things coming up on the scope. We've started a Patreon account for extra special bonuses. So it's not quite up and running yet as to what we would like to offer you, our listeners, special advantages ahead of time with membership. We'll have a better plan of that as that comes out. And next couple weeks, next episodes are going to be when we went to the Dalnavert. Me and Cher, my lovely and beautiful, talented co-host, we went to the Dalnavert for the ghost night that the Winnipeg Paranormal Group had set up for the public investigation. So that'll be the next couple of weeks as we gather more material and more stories. And tonight's episode, I have to say, these stories did not disappoint from the open mic at the last Spirits with Spirits. It was quite beautiful. And again, thank you to all you who came out, and hopefully we'll see you again this Wednesday. So I will leave it at that. And again, please check us out on all our socials. We're mostly active on Facebook, as well as, if you want to reach out and email us your story, please do so at givinguptheghostpodcast@gmail.com. And we do have a website, and I'm the do it all, be it all person. So I try and get everything updated as much as I can, as often as I can, for new and exciting things that are in the works. And just about that, we probably will be recording out at Fort Lorraine, outside of Portage, La Prairie, for their campfire ghost storytelling night. And that'll be at the end of August. So more on that coming up. So lots of really cool shit going on, man. I tell you, like, it's going to be busy. So in saying that, remember to live every day like it is your last, but never give up the ghost. Ciao for now.
At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 350 plus programs at asuonline.asu.edu. At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
Okay, I think we're ready to get started for our second portion of Spirits with Spirits. And again, thank you so much for everybody that's come out. Give yourself a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. So, who wants to hear ghost stories? Woo! Woo! Well, you know what? Let me ask a question, even though I can't really see you guys. Hands up. Who believes in ghosts? Oh, that's pretty good.
That's good.
Who doesn't believe in ghosts? I see you
Nice.
there.
Okay.
We'll make you a believer.
We like our skeptics.
But you know what? You got to stay skeptical. You know what? No, honestly, like me and Cher, my pod partner, we call ourselves optimistic skeptics because we've had our own experiences. And you may have had your own experience, and it may not be the same, and that's fine, but we get it. So, and that's kind of like why we wanted to do nights like this. We planned this years ago about Spirits of Spirit, just sitting down, talking with people, and letting people have the microphone and a safe place where they can tell their stories and share, because it's cathartic, you know? A lot of people grow up in families where like, oh, there's no such thing as ghosts, or you can't believe in that, and, you know, even though somebody sees a book levitate off a table and they're like, no, that was the wind. So I mean, you know, that just might be a coping mechanism, right? Because if you can't explain what you saw, it didn't happen, right? So we wanted to provide an environment here where everybody is of like-mindedness, where we can share and be open. So in saying that, who wants to come up? Oh.
Who's gonna be first?
Who wants to be first? Take her.
Come on up.
Nothing like getting voluntold. That way? Come up this way. Thank you for your friend. What is your name?
Oh, hi, I'm Kim.
Hi, Kim. Nice to meet you. I'm Jazz.
Very nice to meet you.
And have a seat and tell us your story.
I'm so glad I can see no one right now.
I know. It works. It's perfect.
Especially my friend that will be killed later.
Maybe another ghost story with that one.
So I'm sorry, I wasn't familiar with this podcast, but I certainly will be investigating it because this seems like fun, and I, of course, believe in ghosts. When I put my name, actually, you didn't even draw my name. My friend made me come up here, but I have a couple, but okay, I'll start with this one. I did bartend at Pantages Theatre. Now, do you guys know where Pantages is downtown? Yes. And you know what, when I was there, people would say, it's really creepy in here. And you know what, and I was going to ask you guys about it. Why are the bowels of the basement and the top always where the ghosts go? But that is where it was all the time. Now, I didn't have an experience with one personally. I did have to go into the green room, which surprisingly enough was in the bowels of the basement, and it was very creepy. And people would tell me stories where they couldn't shut off a TV in the green room, or the water tap would be running and they'd go to shut it off, and as soon as they'd leave it would start running again. And so I obviously didn't want to take that job after that, so I stayed up on the main floor and just poured drinks. My story is an individual story, and it's not about a house or a museum or anything. It was something weird that happened to me that was ghostly, I think. So I would love an opinion if somebody could give it to me. Yeah. Now, I was sitting in a restaurant with my sister and my mom, and we were discussing my grandmother who had passed away. And my sister, who was sitting directly across from me, I could see this curl of smoke rising up from the table. I thought in my head, as I was listening to her, there's kids playing with matches under the table. Of course, that doesn't happen in 2015, but I did look like, what's going on? Like, why is there smoke curling up? And I saw it curling up, and I thought, maybe this is just me, like, maybe it's just dust particles. But you know what it is? It got up higher, and as we talked about my grandmother more and more and more, it hit my sister's nose, and she went, so it just dissipated after that. But I thought that had to be some kind of a spiritual thing.
Did it have a smell, like your grandmother's perfume or anything?
You know what, I can't say that I smelled anything because we were in a restaurant, so there was probably other aromas in there, and I wasn't taking it seriously. But I did see a curl of smoke again at another time, and I just thought, okay, this is creepy. Like, is that just my lot in life? That's how the spirits show themselves to me, is in a curl of smoke. But I've seen it twice now.
Do you have any answers for that? Sure.
So for us, yes, thank you.
Do I go now?
Okay. So people kind of think of ectoplasm as like what we see from the Hamilton house, right? The cheesecloth looking thing, pictures in it, things like that. It's more like what you experienced.
Oh.
So it's more like smoke or like a cloud-like substance that disappears. It's normally associated when a spirit is trying to manifest itself.
Oh,
So my thought would be that, you were speaking about your grandmother, right? That she was trying to let you know that she was there with you. She was
and it
hearing
felt
you.
like she was too. So, are there ghosts? Absolutely.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you, Sharon. That was awesome. Thank you. Would anybody else care? I spoke with a few people. I kind of perused the crowd.
My friend would love to go. Quid pro quo.
Go on up.
Oh, we had a lady who volunteers at the Dalnavert.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to come up?
Oh, we got one coming up.
Sorry,
Okay.
we can't see with the lights.
Volunteered me would love to go.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
Okay, so we'll do one and then
Yeah.
two.
All right, come on up. Come on down. You're our next contestant.
The ghost is here.
That's right.
At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
And what is your name?
Jen.
Hi, Jen.
Hi.
Nice
to meet you. Yeah,
Hi.
good stories. I have been to the Dalnavert, and it's a beautiful place.
Yes.
But there are spooky corners.
Yep.
But you just kind of ignore it as you walk through, and unless you're investigating, so then you feel it a little more. But I'll try and keep it short. This actually is a story of my basement, and I heard that, to answer your question, Kim, that ghosts like basements and upper rooms because it's a quieter place for them. And having watched other paranormal shows, you hear little things, and I thought, okay, that makes sense. So we have an okay basement. There's a clear area, but in our laundry room, it's quite jam-packed, as my husband likes to collect things. A lot of stuff which wives affectionately call crap.
Yep. But it might come in handy in 20 years.
It might come in handy in 20 years,
Just
that's
never
right.
know. Yeah.
So when my daughter, I guess they were maybe 10 years old, and my niece and my nephew were down there playing. We have a little white dog. And they're downstairs and they're having a great time. All of a sudden, all three of them run upstairs. And they say, "Where's the dog?" And I said, "Well, she's right here." So then they all got very scared and said, "Mom, there was little white flashes and we thought it was the dog, but we couldn't find the dog." So I thought, oh, okay, you guys, it's kids, just kind of freaking each other out a little bit. And then one evening, I was up late and I fell asleep in the basement. And when you're asleep but you think you're awake, but it's called lucid dreaming. And I saw an older gentleman sitting across from me. But I heard activity too, so I thought, okay, I'm dreaming. Somebody's down here, one of my family members is down here. So when I woke up, I went upstairs and I said, "Why didn't anybody wake me up? I fell asleep and it's late, I wanted to come to bed." And they said, "Well, nobody was down there." And I thought, okay. And to be honest, I've always been creeped out about our basement. Anytime I go in the laundry room, which is the crowded room, and I tease my husband and say, "Quit collecting things, you're bringing stuff into the house." So in that menagerie of stuff, we had it was like a 6-inch, those old television sets? It was in a white plastic casing, little tiny thing, and the thing did not work for years. Never been turned on because nobody goes down there anymore in that area. So I go down the stair in the basement, I'm doing laundry, and I'm always creeped out in that room. And I'm thinking, okay, Jan, you're doing this. You're manifesting, you're projecting, you're scaring yourself. It's probably just you doing it. And as soon as I thought that in my mind, that little TV turned on. And I'm getting shivers remembering it now. So I said, okay, I'm not going to panic. So I called my husband. I was like, because I can't reach it. It was pinned up high on a little shelf on the side of the wall. And I said to my husband, I'm calling upstairs, and I hear him, "What?" And I said, "Can you come down here for a minute?" So he comes down. He said, "Oh, who turned the TV on?" And I said, the ghost. We have a ghost in our basement. I know it. And it's active sometimes and sometimes it's not. I think it's male just from my lucid dream. But now we have a deal because I talked to my minister about ghosts. She wanted to go see ghosts in Scotland and we went on a tour together and I said, I'm kind of freaked out because I picked stuff up and I don't think I want to go because I believe in ghosts. She said, Jan, not everybody leaves. This is coming from a minister. And I was like, really? She said, so think of it this way, and I pass this on to you. Don't believe in ghosts because it gives them power. Believe that there are ghosts.
Very wise.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing. Great. Sorry, we could. Thanks for your patience. Sorry, I can't.
Hi.
And your name?
Deb.
Deb.
So I volunteer at Dalnavert Museum as a tour guide. I've been there about 9 years. And I've heard stories of the ghosts in the house, but never really paid that much attention. It was, okay, whatever. And about 2 years ago, I was giving a tour in the house to a couple, a man and a woman. And it was a slow day. There was nobody else in the house, and we were in the attic. And they have a wooden pedestal about this high, and then on top of it is a plexiglass box. And inside the box, they changed the displays around, but inside was a display of a men's toiletry kit. It's about 9 inches long, and it had the lid open, and inside you could see the razor and the comb and that sort of thing. And I was showing the couple that this is what a man in the 1800s, late 1800s, would travel with. And as I was talking about it, the lid just slammed shut. And I kind of went, oh, that must be the ghost. And this woman said, ghost? And I said, well, what other possible explanation could there be? Right. And they were kind of a little bit freaked out. Afterwards, I asked the staff, how often do you have to go up there and lift the lid up? And they said, well, never. This is the first time it's happened. So the first time it happened was when I was talking about it, standing right next to it, and the lid.
At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
And like I said, it was in a plexiglass case, so no movement or wind or.
Right.
Wow. So that's my story. So
Awesome.
it was. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Anyone else would like to come up and share? Oh,
Hi.
and your name?
My name is Brittany.
Hi, Brittany.
Hi, Brittany.
Hi, everyone. I'm also glad I can't see anyone because I'm really nervous. But I had a few stories to share. I won't share them all today. Sorry, I got to take a deep breath.
Oh, take your time.
I'm really anxious. I was like, I'll have a beer before this. But I'm like, oh, now I'm anxious and like a little buzzed. Okay. So there is a few things that resonated with me. So someone spoke to around spirits being in the bottom and the top. So I have a friend from a long time ago, and they're from the Middle East, and they have spirits that they call jinn. And one of the things that he told me when we were talking about ghosts a long time ago was that ghosts and that kind of spiritual energy usually venture into spaces where people don't usually go to. So when you think of being haunted, you see the ghost in the corner of the bedroom. You see the ghost in the doorway. You see the ghost in the pantry or some sort of closet, which kind of makes sense. I'm like, oh, okay, you're actually kind of making a little bit of sense. But he also told me, I don't know if he was doing this to scare me or to tell me to clean my place, but he's like, they also go where it's dirty. I was like, oh, so do I got to pick up my laundry around my house and do my dishes? But that kind of stuck with me because knowing, like, me as a person, I've had many spiritual experiences growing up, and I've always dismissed it as my overactive imagination my tendency to, I don't know, just, I guess what I said, overreact. And then another thing that I want to share is like, I don't know, so this is not a scary story, but one of the things that one of my theories is when people are typically neurospicy, we have a lot more synapses than neurotypical people. And I feel like that kind of prepositions us to experience life in a different way. So one of the things that I have is like I have ADHD, a little bit of dyslexia. So I'm always wondering around the things that I pick up on, whether it's something that I was born with or because of the way that my mind works, where I'm more perceptive to these spiritual experiences. But I'm only going to share 2 stories today. So I guess like a soft story that I have right now is I remember being in high school with my best friend. We had a sleepover in her basement. Her basement was creepy to begin with, but I was like, you know what? I love her. We've had this many times, many sleepovers. And then one night she put whale sounds on the TV. It was like MTV music or something. I don't know, but it was like whale music. And I was like, I guess this is relaxing, but I couldn't sleep whatsoever. And all of a sudden it was probably like 3 a.m. She's fast asleep as a log, can't wake her up. And I'm laying there tossing and turning. It's a new space. And all of a sudden the TV turns off. And I was like, oh, it's pitch black, silence. I was like, okay, this is my cue to go to bed. Her TV probably has a timer. I never brought this up after. Like, I just assumed it was something that was normal. But talking to her years later, I'm like, do you remember when we had that sleepover? I was kind of creeped out because her TV turned off by itself. She's like, it never does that. I'm like, but it turned off. And she's like, that's weird. I'm like, that's weird. It's something that I thought was totally, I was like, maybe the TV has a timer, some old TVs have timers where I don't know if they do. But I was like, it has a timer. It turns off like really late into the night. And she was like, no, it never does it. So that was like a soft experience I had. I have many more in my younger years. But speaking to her experience in her house that we had in Clyde in East Kildonan, I love listening to people and their stories. So in the same basement, she said she was downstairs with another friend another time. And one of the things that she heard coming from like the laundry room, so there's like the basement, there's a door, and then there's like the laundry room. So you can close the door because like the laundry machines get pretty loud. And she was sitting there with her friend. They were doing whatever they were doing. We're in high school, whatever high school kids did back in 2010. And all of a sudden she goes, Danielle. And she's like, they both froze. And they looked and they're like, what the heck was that? And she told me that story. And I think that's kind of what prompted me to tell her the story about the TV. I'm like, that was weird. But you know what's weird too? About that one time your TV turned off. So that's a whole experience with her basement in East Kildonan. And then another story I wanted to share tonight. I wish my best friend was here. This is about her and her experience, and I asked her if I could share it. So in Indigenous culture, we have something called Skinwalkers. They may become by different names. Typically, when you hear Skinwalker, you kind of associate it with Haunted Ranch in the States. Skinwalker Ranch. There we go. And so my understanding, my teachings with that is a Skinwalker is an alternate being that takes on the form of many shapes, whether it be an animal, whether it be a person, but they really have, I think, ulterior motives. They're not benevolent, they are malevolent, they want to cause harm, they want to be tricksters. So my best friend was dating this guy, and she picked him up at some location, whatever. She hasn't been to his house many times before that. And so she picks him up and they pull up in the driveway. She watches him walk up the driveway because she's distracted by something or another in her car. Maybe she's checking her notifications. Maybe she's just like making sure she has everything in her bag before she goes into the house. But anyway, she's literally like maybe 3 steps behind him. She gets out, she follows him. He goes inside the house before she does. He closes the door. She opens the door. She sees the back of his head. She sees full body, as if I'm looking at you, going to the basement. And she's like, okay, cool. I guess his basement's in the basement. That's cool. So she's following. She's like, Dakota, that's his name. Dakota. He's not answering her. So she follows him to the basement, down the stairs. She's like, Dakota. He goes into one of the rooms. It's pitch black. She's like, thinking to herself, why didn't he turn on any lights? I don't know where the fuck the lights are. Like, sorry, my language. And she's feeling around. She's like, where the fuck are these lights? Like, what the hell? And she's like, Dakota, where are you? Because she saw him go into the basement, go into a room, but it's pitch black. All of a sudden she hears, Danielle? It's from top of the stairs. She goes back to where the bottom of the stair was. That's where Dakota is. He's coming from the top of the stairs. Why are you in the basement? And so, don't know what it was, but my theory is that it was a skinwalker of some sort. She literally saw him clear as day, the back of his head. He did not speak to her, did not answer, did not turn around to look at her as she followed him to the basement. And that was it. Apparently that house, I don't know too much about their history, but that house has many paranormal experiences before. And then recently, we went out, we had a good time. She was texting him throughout the evening. And okay, so maybe it's not that scary, maybe it's not that spooky, but I'm like, let's make it a little bit spooky. So I'm trying to scare her a little bit. She's like, I was texting him, and you know, when you text your old ex and you kind of want to say hi and whatever, you know what I mean? And then she wakes up the next day. We had a good night, whatever. She went home and she wakes up to like 10, 12, 15 messages. Hey, after the door, where are you? Hey, where are you? Are you up? Hey, you said I could come over. Hey, where are you? And she's like, what the heck? Why is he texting me as if I didn't get him to come over, as if I didn't open the door? But then she's having these little bit of flashbacks because we were a little bit inebriated around sitting on the front steps with him, talking to him, having a conversation. Because, again, inebriated, no judgment, we're young. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm like, hey, do you think that was the skinwalker that came back? Do you think you actually like sat with him on the front steps and had a conversation because you can barely remember having the conversation with him? And then you actually have conversations from him as if he was trying to come over, but you were ignoring him. So I'm like, I don't know. But she's like, Brittany, shut the fuck up. But then what happened? That's scary. So I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, so that's my story.
Awesome.
Sorry,
Thank you.
Kind of rambled.
No,
Thank you.
On the podcast, because we have 208 episodes or something, we did cover Wendigos, which is like skinwalkers, right? So yeah, like that's some bad juju there. And also, what was I going to say? Train of thought's gone now. Anybody else? Would anybody care to come and
I
share?
see a couple hands in the back.
Come on down. Don't be shy.
Come on up.
We
I can't really see, so if you don't see anybody coming up.
It's like an auction. Hi.
Hi.
Your name?
Stephanie.
Stephanie. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you. Okay, so I have two stories, and they're both about my daughter Rosalie. One was in the old house we lived in Camp Morton, which actually used to also be an old nunnery, so it's alright spooky. And she was, I guess, about 3 or 4 years old at the time. And one day I was putting my son Andrew to bed, and she was playing in the playroom as far as I knew, and I went out, she wasn't there, and I'm looking up and down the house and I cannot see her. I thought she went in the basement, I couldn't find her, went up and down, and I decided to go back in the basement because I was like, okay, she's got to be somewhere in this house. Oh my gosh. I'm like freaking out because that's every mother's worst nightmare, for your kid to disappear on you, especially out in the country. And then I all of a sudden hear this noise, and this basement had a fire in it. And I go look in this one area that had been burned, and she's lying under these like vapor barrier sheets, and I'm like, Rosalie, what are you doing down here? And she goes, the guy said it's night time. And I was like, what guy? And she's like, the ones behind you. And I was like, nope. And I was like, okay, well, we go night in our bed, so we're not gonna be down here anymore, okay? Tell the guy we don't sleep down here. And then I got her to get up, and then I locked the basement door and never let her down there again. And she used to talk to this guy, like I'd hear her laughing on the baby monitor. And I'd be like, Rosalie, why are you not in bed? And she's like, the guy's making funny faces. So apparently this guy used to talk to her all the time. which was kind of sweet. She wasn't scared of him, but I'm not gonna lie, her telling me he was right behind me scared me so badly, and I did not want to go in that basement again for a while. And unfortunately, that's where the laundry machine was, so I didn't have a choice. But I was like, I hate this down here. But then we moved out of that house and we went to Kenora. And there's this really beautiful graveyard in Kenora, and we used to go walking there all the time, just get the kids out kind of thing, and I teach them like recognize letters and numbers on the gravestones. And then one day, because I used to take her to church, she's like, Mommy, I want to go see Mary. And I thought she was talking about statue, because this kid was really good at observing stuff I didn't even notice, so I just assumed she was seeing something I wasn't. I was like, okay, but you have to show me where Mary is, because I don't see what you're talking about. So we were walking, and we're getting to the graves that are older and older and older, and eventually we get to the part where the graves are so old you can't read the gravestones anymore. And she's like, Mary's right there. And I'm like, oh, that's not a statue, all right. Okay, that's cool. This is fine. And then she's like, I'm gonna go say hi to her. I'm like, that's cool. You do that, I guess. And she goes and she starts walking. She gets to the grass and she just freezes. And she's like, Mommy, Mary's very angry right now. And I was like, okay, how about we go then? And apparently her hair was in front of her face. She had this long dress on and she was looking at her with very angry eyes. And we did not go back to that graveyard for like a week. I was like, we're just gonna skip out here. She did see that same Mary again, and apparently she was singing a song the next time we went. It's like, that's weird as hell, kid. But yeah, so that's my stories.
Thank you so much.
I remember what I was going to say. Another thing we've done on the podcast before, which is kind of cool, it's very long and drawn out, but sometimes we can do history searches. So if you know of a haunted house, or you're in a really, really old house that's, been around for like 100 years or something, and if you see things or feel things and you want to maybe see if we can find out, definitely email us. We've had a lot of really cool results. Like 80% of the time we can tell you who's probably haunting it within reason. I mean, of course, aside from the transit and attachments and stuff, but it's a lot of work, but it's so satisfying when you can actually compare things that have been happening in somebody's house and tell them, well, this is this person, and give them a bit of a composite. So it's kind of like sleuthing. It's very cool. So we've done history searches on really, really old properties. That's just something I want to mention. Aaron, you said you want to come up and that I forgot, right? But you don't have to if you're not comfortable with it. Awesome, thank you. Thanks for coming up. I surveyed the audience before, and he said, yeah, good one. So, there you go.
Hi. Yeah, so I've had a couple weird things that I can't quite explain. So when I was younger, when I was about 20 years old, I lived in Japan for a couple years.
Oh, cool.
And specifically I lived in Specifically, I lived in Okinawa. So Okinawa has a long history of ghosts and paranormal stuff, and it was affected by World War II, so there's a lot of ghost stories that have to do with the wartime. So I lived in a very small town. There was like maybe 400 people in the town only. It was a very old population, so it was a very unique experience. So I lived in a very old style house. It was like tatami floor, the old sliding doors, all that type of stuff. And I was sleeping on the floor. I had like just a mattress I was sleeping on. And from where I was sleeping, I could see right into my kitchen. I had my sliding doors open, so I could see into my kitchen. But I just woke up for whatever reason, and standing in my doorway was this tall woman figure, like think like The Grudge pretty much, like woman in white, very like skinny, grangly kind of body and long black hair covering her. It was so vivid, like I literally thought somebody had broken into my house. I got up, turned on all the lights, I checked all my doors. I went into my like bathroom to look behind because I literally thought somebody was in my house. And obviously there was nobody there, and I locked my door and went back to sleep. I don't know how I fell back to sleep, but I did. And I just kept this story to myself for a long time because I didn't want to talk about it to anybody and be like the weird, crazy foreigner in the village. So I didn't talk about it for a while, but eventually I got to know the other teachers. And I was talking to one of the other teachers there, and he was like, I was explaining the story to him, and he's like, I have seen the exact same thing in my room as well. Literally, he said he woke up one night and was looking up in like the corner, and the same kind of figure was like huddled in the corner like a spider, looking down at him.
That's not good.
Yeah. So
I'd stick with your apparition than his apparition. I'll go ahead and...
Yeah, that one's pretty scary. And then some people had told me, like, apparently to get rid of those spirits, to like put salt. It was kind of a similar thing, I guess, that we do too, like make a salt bowl and put it out. So I tried doing that. I never saw it again. It was only the once.
She was too busy visiting everybody.
Yeah, she was everywhere.
She was around.
Yeah. But then also in that house, I had kind of a better experience also, I took it as a positive experience. So I went there to be a teacher. I was teaching English. And so at first I just thought it was me adjusting to the area and being a teacher in this small town. This is kind of an embarrassing part to say, but Okinawa is very hot, it's tropical, and for being from Winnipeg, I was not used to that heat. So very often I'd be sleeping like no shirt or in my underwear kind of thing. And I would wake up very often in the middle of the night and feel like there was children standing over me. And not in a scary way, it was just like, oh hi, you're here kind of thing, watching me. And I would get up and almost feel embarrassed that I'm like, I don't have a shirt on, I need to put clothes on. So I would wake up, put clothes on, and then just fall back to sleep. And I would wake up like in my pajamas for whatever reason. And at first I just thought it was like, I did have students coming to my house to play with me. So I just thought maybe it was like subconsciously just this thing going on. But it happened over the period of 2 years I was there, and it kept happening and happening. And
like the children would show up, or you would see or hear children?
I would just feel them. I didn't see them or hear them, and for whatever reason, I just knew it was children. I just had this sense like these are the energy or whatever. And then a very weird thing that happened is I never experienced it again, but when I came back here, I was going to actually get another job to go back to Japan and work there. And I had an interview online, and we set up the time, and I was very dumb. They said like, oh yeah, 10 a.m. we'll meet. Me not thinking they meant 10 a.m. Japan time. So it was like, I went to bed thinking I'm gonna wake up in the morning, do this interview, and then all of a sudden I bolt awake at like 11 p.m. at night, and I'm like, oh my God, I need to be there for this interview. And I felt again those children energy around me. And it was the same feeling of just kids for whatever reason. It was like almost they were trying to like, hey, wake up, you have to be there for the interview. And that was the only time I've ever experienced it here in Winnipeg. And I've never experienced it again since, but it was like just that connection to Japan or something. Somehow I felt it again.
They were rooting for you.
I guess so, yeah. yeah, they were trying to call me back. Yeah, so that was a more positive experience for sure. And yeah, a lot of the people in Japan were just like, I guess you just have a positive energy. The kids like you, and even the ghosts are coming towards you kind of thing. So yeah, that was a more happy, positive one compared to the first one. Yeah. Yeah, those are my stories.
Thank you. I know we had one at the front here. You want to come up?
Hello.
Hi.
What's your name?
John.
John. Hi, John.
Yeah. Hello. So I have a few things that I feel compelled to share.
Please do.
So ever since I was a little kid, I've always had strange experiences. The house that I grew up in, my family experienced challenges with addiction, so there was a lot of like confusion, chaos, and misery and heavy emotions in the house. And it's my belief that in a space, if there's like if it's like a consistent, concentrated energy of those really heavy things, and it can lead to other things or invite things in. And so as a child, I would see shadows running along the walls, and I would hear from from where my room was, I could see through the kitchen and down into the basement. And I could hear people like having conversations if there was no one in the house. The lights, I would see lights flicker off and on. The cupboards would open and close in front of me. I would hear like on my ears.
Where's the house located?
It's located in Gillam, Manitoba, so it's like 12 hours north of here. Yeah. Okay. I would hear voices, like people going, "Hey."
Anything ever call your name?
No, but interesting enough, I would always hear someone walking around this one specific area in the house, and I just, as a child, you rationalize things. Like for the shadows on the walls, I always said we had fruit flies. I don't know why. Just lots of fruit flies, I guess, for years. And then for the area of the house where I would hear someone walk back and forth, I just assumed like, oh, it's just an older house. And that was like a consistent experience until I moved out and moved here to Winnipeg for school, and then I had my own bout with addiction. And then when I got sober, it was suggested of me that I should have a vital spiritual experience. So I sought out spiritual things within my Cree culture and within friends who engaged in ceremony. And I met this one colleague, and we had worked together before. And later on in our time working together, she was like, "I have to tell you something." And I said, "Yeah, what's up?" And this was after I told her on one of the anniversaries of my sobriety, I said that I wanted to see a medium just to have the experience. And she was like, "Well, I have to tell you something." And she was like, I don't claim to be a psychic or a medium. She's like, but within ceremony, these are the gifts that I'm told that I have. And she's like, ever since I met you, there's this man who stands beside you all the time. And then she explained him to me, and I was like, well, explain him to me. Like, let's see if I can, pinpoint who it is. And it's my Uncle Christopher. He passed away when I was 2 years old. And then I connected it because where the area of the house is where I would hear someone walk back and forth all the time, that's where his photos were. And then if I think about the voices that I heard, like there were different experiences with the voices. Some were really like, what felt evil to me. And then sometimes it just kind of felt like a hello. And in those times, like those lighter moments, it was his voice. Like I vaguely remember his voice, but that's kind of like how I experienced it. So on and so forth. I'm just losing my train of thought here. There was one more thing There was one more thing that I was hoping to share. So in this experience with this, with my friend there, then she had said to me, she's like, and you need to be careful because you yourself have gifts that you are yet to discover, and they won't come until certain, to reach certain milestones in your life, certain spiritual milestones. And I've always been really curious, right? And so curiosity killed the cat, and I know that too well. So I don't know if anyone knows, there's an abandoned town just off Highway 23 near Dominion City called St. Elizabeth.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And so me and my aunt went there. And for the sole purpose of curiosity, and not thinking that anything would happen, right? We just wanted to look at the old.
Was it fenced off at that point? Or?
No, it wasn't fenced off. Oh, it's fenced off.
There's too many people that are, exploring.
Yeah.
Do not trespass.
Okay.
Do not.
Do not disturb the spirits.
Do not disturb. Yeah.
So we went there, and we're in the church, and we're bopping around the houses, which I don't recommend because they're really old and they cave in.
And then you'll become a ghost.
Yeah, and then I'll become a ghost, and you'll see me there. So we ended up hitting the ditch, and we were trying everything to get out of the ditch. I even went into the church and took all the rugs and put them under the tires, and just trying to get out of this ditch because it was also in some water. And then the heat, I don't know, I'm not really good with that stuff, but the heat was going up or something. It was overheating. The engine was overheating. There we go. And then so she had to turn off the car, and it was winter, so we're getting cold, right? And I'm soaked wet because I'm trying to push the car, we're trying to do everything. So anyways, we're sitting in the car, what the fuck am are we gonna do? Like, no one is coming. The CAA said it because we were not on a provincially recognized road.
It's a ghost town.
It's a ghost town, yeah. Like, who do you call? Ghostbusters. My aunt said that she had the feeling to turn the vehicle back on and just try and drive it one more time. And she did. And she drove out so easy. And it was snowing at the time, so this kind of is sort of like helps with the context. And then she said to me, she's like, go put those rugs back in the church and let's get out of here. And I said, okay. So I jump out and I stopped dead in my tracks because there's no tire marks behind our vehicle. Oh. And I thought I was seeing things, and she jumped out because she was like, why are you taking so long? And then I just heard behind me like she was like, what the fuck? And she was like, go put those damn rugs back in the trash. Get the hell out of here. And we didn't say anything on the whole drive back.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I wanted to share that. Don't go to St. Elizabeth. Unless you're with professionals.
Yeah, we've been there.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
So we have a few minutes left. I mean, if we run over.
We've got someone.
Oh,
come on up.
Don't be shy. We don't bite very hard. I mean, we don't bite. What is your name?
Carla.
Hi, Carla.
Hi. Yeah, I'm very shy. Forgive me, English is not my first language. Just my story is from last weekend. I live with my daughter and we like to watch ghosts and scary things, and especially people trying to contact ghosts in old houses and all. So we're very influenced, right? Okay. So last week I have family coming from back home, and then I took them to several places in Winnipeg. The Dalnavert house. We didn't experience anything there. It was lovely. So the last weekend my aunt and my mother were here. I decided to go to Lower Fort Garry. Yeah. We were there, and my daughter knew. My daughter has been there from school trips.
Yes.
So because we're very influenced for these shows we've been watching. She's 14, but she's funny. So she took a cat ball. That lights up when you touch it, and she took a small flashlight, just like in the shows, right? Things.
Oh yeah.
And she will start trying to talk with everyone in the house, but we didn't see or hear anything. So we actually went to one of the guides, which is normally a student from these summer jobs, and we asked him where are supposed to be the scary things, the ghosts, the stories, whatever. And he told us that obviously at the jail building.
Right.
And at the jail building, he told us probably in the second floor or third floor, there's a story of a man who committed suicide there in the jails, but he was a caretaker, like not an inmate, but caretaker. I have to be honest, like I'm the chicken, and I don't really believe. But she's 14, but she's super. It's like crazy teenager thing. And we're in the second floor, and the workers they told us, "Well, you can pick up on the third floor with us. Like there's nothing there, only like storage." And then we were on the third floor, and they pick up the rifles in a bag. And then they were on their way back again. So I'm like, okay. So I stay with her right by the stairs. And she goes all around the second floor, plays her things, and she starts talking. Just like in the movie. She even explains to whatever, oh, look, you have to tap this ball and it will light up. Or it will light up, or you can turn on this little flashlight. I will turn on. So you're here, whatever, turn on. Nothing happened. So I thought we're going, but she's like, okay, if you don't want to turn it on, you can make a noise. And I was like, and sure enough, something at that moment banged really hard. We were there, absolutely metal against metal, like an old lock, like closing a lock or those.
And mom's out of there.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm out of there, and she stays there. I'm like, come here, and she's like, no.
Well, that was awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you
If
so much.
anyone wants to watch it, I'm going to.
Thank you so much. Yeah. What's the time?
9:01.
9:01. So we're going to make a draw for prizes. I guess if we run a little bit over, that's okay? Or does anybody have any more stories? Anybody want to share? I don't want to not give anybody the opportunity.
Yeah, we got another one.
Come on down, one more, and then we'll do a draw for a prize. I don't want to not give anybody the opportunity, so if we run over, that's what we're here for. So, hi.
Hello.
What's your name?
Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Hi. I just want to apologize earlier when they asked if people believed in ghosts, I was one of the people that said I didn't, so sorry.
It's okay. Don't apologize.
I don't want to steal anyone's thunder here, but I do have a story that I don't necessarily believe it was a ghost, but on the other hand, I don't have a good explanation for what it was. So if that's good enough for you, here we go. I don't know, has anyone here heard of Taras Shevchenko? No? All right, that's going to make it a little less exciting, but that's how it goes. He was a Ukrainian poet, very famous, and so if you have any Ukrainian friends or family, maybe they'll have heard of him. But when I was a teenager, I also had not heard of him. And so when I found a woodcut of his, an image of his likeness, at a garage sale, I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, hey, it's a man with a tall fur hat. That's kind of cool. And I just, it was $2. I bought it and I hung it up in my room. I didn't think anything of it. And fast forward probably, I guess almost 5, 6, maybe even 7 years later, I had it in my room all throughout college. My girlfriend, who would later be my wife, had already moved away to go to university. And she was coming back to visit me, and the plan was that I would go out to live with her. And we were talking about, well, what kind of things should I be bringing with me, right? Which of my possessions did we need to bring? What could I leave behind? I'd still be living with my parents. And we were lying in bed just in my room. I was still living with my parents at the time, just talking about, what possessions I had, and conversation came around to the wood carving. And I remember thinking, well, I don't have any particular attachment to it, but it's a nice carving. I like it. I think it, it's nice. It's a little, hokey, a little old-fashioned, but I'd like to bring it. I was, for some reason, I felt like I really just want to bring it with me. I have like an attachment to it. I couldn't tell you why. It's just, I just gotten used to seeing it all those days, I guess. And my wife was a little cagey about it. She was like, well, where are we going to hang it? Like, there's not really any space in my apartment, and I don't really have a place for it. And I was like, I wanted to say, sure. I was about to say, okay, you know what? It's just a wood carving of it for $2. What does it matter? And as the words were about to leave my lips, I heard bang, and look up at the wall, and it's swinging back and forth like I've never seen anything before. I had never done that as long as I'd had it hanging up there. So I don't know why it started swinging. I'm still generally pretty skeptical about the supernatural, but I must say I took it with me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we're going to actually come back here for a second. Hello, come back here for a second. If you'll do so kind as draw since you're the last person. Put your hand, shake it up, move around. There you go. And I have no drum machine, so I'm in your face. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have no glasses on, so I can't even see this face.
Do you want me to read it?
Yes, please.
Ishan Revi. I'm sorry if I said that wrong.
There you are. Congratulations. So I'm feeling generous today. So So you can either pick a shirt from my lovely assistant over there, my lovely and talented assistant, also amazing. You can either pick a t-shirt or the mystery bag, which has a couple of cool things in there.
I can do the mystery bag.
Excellent.
All right, good choice.
You guys are all.
Thank you.
And since you picked that one, I'm still going to get a shirt because I just love you people so much. So if you want to go in there and just kind of give a shake and then eat the shirt, so, you know.
Yeah. Jen Gunston.
Jen.
Is that it? Gunston.
Jen Gunston? Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So if you want to pick a shirt of whatever you like, by all means. So I guess we're at the conclusion of our show. Thank you so much to everybody who's come out tonight. And we really appreciate the crowd. Tell your friends, hopefully if the King's Head would like to have us out again, that would be nice. Maybe we can work something out, a little something. Maybe a Thursday night, that would be really pushing it, but that would be nice. But thank you, Wednesday coming out. Thank you for sharing all your creepy cool stories. A big round of applause for everybody that came up here and had the courage to tell their story. We appreciate that. Thank you to Lauren from the Dalnavert, telling us some really creepy cool stories. Thank you to my co-host, Ashley from the Winnipeg Paranormal Group. Again, I am Jazz with Giving Up the Ghost podcast on all platforms. If you have a story, please do not hesitate to reach out to us at Giving Up the Ghost podcast. givinguptheghostpodcast@gmail.com. That's usually Cher's part. And remember to live every day like it is your last.
But never give up the ghost.
Never give up the ghost. Thank you. Have a good night. Take care. Oh, sorry. I cut Ashley off.
Just a quick reminder that we do have some public investigations coming up. So if you are interested in getting to investigate with us, we are going to be at the Historical Museum of St. James Assiniboia on July 5th. And we're going to be at the Seven Oaks House Museum on August 16th. So tickets are available right now on our Facebook page and on our ticket site, which is called 3 Common.
3 Common, yes.
3 Common.
Yes, that's awesome.
So thank you, like Jazz said, thank you so much. July 5th at the Historical Museum of St. James Assiniboia. So that's out past Moray. And then there is the Seven Oaks House Museum on August 16th, which is on Mack Street, so right by the Greenbrier. We normally start them at 8, but the Seven Oaks House Museum is 7:30.
All right, perfect. Okay. Again, thank you. Thank you so much. Have a great night. We'll see you again. Tell your friends. All right. Thank you. I'm so sorry. It's okay. It's late. I know. It is late. The peanut butter sandwich only went so far. I'm famished.